Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Beyond Bonuses, the impact of personalized branded items on employee motivation and loyalty. Today, we have with us Helen Rankin, the co-founder and chief brand officer at SwagUp. Hi, Rankin. Hi, Helen, sorry.
Hi, how are you?
Great. Nice to have you. We're really happy to have you with us today. My name is Ravioila. I work with content with Simos Cloud, and I'll be moderating this webinar today. So first, I would like to take a brief opportunity to introduce ourselves. We are an independent software company, and we provide cutting-edge enterprise HR tech solutions. We design, develop, and implement employee experience cloud solutions, including job points, well-being, nurture, and skills. This is just briefly the overview of our products. These products all help employers manage their workforce and deliver exceptional employee experiences. So here we have job points for rewards and recognition, nurture, internal communications, feedback, employee service, and employee journey programs. Skills, the talent intelligence solution built on the SAP Business Technology platform for identifying, reporting, and running a skill strategy. And finally, well-being. That's how we assist companies in boosting employees' well-being, health, and their sustainability impact. Okay, just briefly, we'll go over the house rules for today's webinar. You can use the chat option to introduce yourselves, say where you're from, say hello. You can also use the Q&A function to post questions. If you have any specific questions for Helen, we will be answering those at the end of the session. And throughout this webinar, there will also be some polls, so feel free to engage with that function as well. Just briefly what we're going to be talking about today with Helen. We're going to be talking about personalized branded items in the service of internal marketing and rewards and recognition. And what are the expected results, ROI, on using these programs? And what is the future of personalized branded items? Here is our guest today, our major speaker, Helen. She co-founded SwagUp and is a chief brand officer there. And she has reshaped the landscape of business engagement with clients and employees alike. Under her leadership, SwagUp's growth simply skyrocketed, and the client list grew to well over 10,000 clients with some pretty big names. Very soon, I'm going to give the word over to Helen, but I'll just like to leave you with this quote here. According to a study by SHRM, employers with good recognition and career development programs scored significantly higher in terms of productivity, revenue, customer retention, and employee retention. And in comparison to those that did not have sound employee recognition strategies in place. And what we're going to be trying to sort of solve and explore throughout this webinar is how, by giving your employees personalized branded items, you're showing them that you care about their individual preferences and needs, and that you recognize their achievements and milestones. And with that, I'm going to open the floor to Helen. Hi, Helen. I believe you have some kind of a presentation, so feel free to introduce yourself and go ahead with your presentation. And I'll stop sharing the screen now, so at any moment when you want to, feel free to start sharing yours. Hi, Helen.
Hi, everyone. Excited to kind of showcase a few examples of customers that we work with that use their branding very well to create connections, to create brand loyalty, especially amongst their employees. So, but first, if you're unfamiliar with SwagUp, and you don't know what we do, we are your one-stop shop for swag. We literally take everything off your plate, from the design portion of it, creating the swag itself, even warehousing and the logistics and storage of it. So no need to assemble anything in your living room or have to go to the post office, or to ship all the swag out internationally or domestically. We handle everything from start to finish. And there's no cost to get started in terms of our platform. Our platform is pretty robust and allows you to manage everything yourself. But there's no setup fees or cost to get started with us. You pay for your swag, your shipping, basic things. And of course, you get a dedicated rep that helps you throughout the entire process to help you strategize on different swag needs. But I wanted to share with you to kind of tie back to our purpose of being here today, around branded items and creating loyalty and recognition for employees. It all starts with connection, and that's a huge purpose of why people come to us at SwagUp. They want to create connections and meaningful ones, and a great way of doing that is through swag. I'm not saying swag is the reason why you connect, no, but it is a catalyst, and it is an add-on to strengthen that relationship. And I want to share some customer examples that we work with really closely on creating that brand awareness for them. So the first customer that I wanted to highlight was Notion. So we work with them on all of their ambassadors within their company. And their ambassadors, some of them are internal and some of them are external. So they have swag that they send to all of their ambassadors, but not only do their swag kits include swag for that ambassador itself, it actually includes swag for them to give out to people they know, to people that they know use the product, people they encounter, family members. And I think that's such a great way to really build your community and to strengthen your brand, is by not just providing swag to just your employees, but extending that to other members of their family, allowing them to pick some swag items that are maybe for their spouse or their pets or their children. Swag that incorporates not just the individual that's part of it, really helps kind of expand that brand awareness, and it makes them kind of lend that little leaf of experience that I'm part of Notion and now you are too through me. So it's just such a great way to do it. And of course, all of their items that they do are so on brand and follow everything that's on their website. They have these really cool characters throughout their website, and I just really love what they do. The next one that we work with is Duolingo. So with Duolingo, ever since COVID, they're not in the office as much, but they had an amazing office culture that they wanted to make sure that they didn't lose sight of that during the pandemic and even after. So they were doing events, virtual events, every single month for their employees. Now, that might be overkill for some companies, but it is a nice way to get people involved. And they also did a lot of fun things like scavenger hunts. At each month it was themed differently, and again, it ties back to their ethos as a company and what their company is about, but it also got everyone talking about their brand, got their employees very excited about their brand. And I mean, I would say they're probably one of the top companies to go work for, and their little duo guy that they have, their mascot, is very well loved and known within their Duolingo employees. So they have the little duo guy everywhere, which I love.
That is cute.
Yeah, it's super cute. And then we have our customer Ramp, who similarly they're a credit card company for B2B businesses, and their swag is just really on brand with what they do. They had the little calculator buttons on some of the items, but they also are very big into sustainability. And, as part of their ethos is saving you money by cutting expenses and knowing what your, knowing where your company's spending their money at. So it kind of goes in tandem for them to do something eco-friendly as well, where you're making sure that you're being purposeful with what you're using. So I really love the way that they incorporate both mindsets of that. Their brand and what they're giving out kind of complements each other, and they just have such nice branding on some of their items. And the last one that I'll go into is Amazon. And Amazon ships these swag items out to all of their new hires. And again, a lot of their employees are remote. They do have some in office, some hybrid that they have to come into the office a few days a week. So this swag really incorporates both of that lifestyle of, they wanted something cozy for someone to wear at home, and then they also had this little badge clip for when they do come into the office. They have their little badge clip that they can use. And I think it's just such a great way, especially for remote workers, to have items that they can use at home to remind them of the office. And, while you're like, why do I want them to remind them of the office? Well, your office is filled with your logoing. Your office is filled with your values. You have posters, you have things to remind them of where they're at. And when you work from home, if you're not giving employees something to have on their desk or some type of brand recognition to reinforce some of those values, it's kind of it's a loss, to be honest with you. And you're not going to build that connection as strongly, especially with those remote employees, without it. And that, I'll hand it back to you. I just wanted to share some client examples. I think it's always good to see, what other companies, big companies, are doing with their swag when it comes to employee recognition and branding.
All right. Thank you, Helen. This is great. I really love the notion that you mentioned. I think it raises a very important issue that the remote employees, those who do not work in offices, who don't work in the office environment, do need some kind of a reminder on an everyday level who they work for, of companies' branding. So whether that is a cup that they like, a nice cute coffee cup that they or mug they drink from, it really does create that kind of connection to the workplace. So
yes, it does.
great for sharing these. I've noticed a sort of a leitmotif throughout your presentation is personalization, and we're going to be approaching this topic from many sides throughout this interview. So are you ready to start?
Let's do it.
Okay, so first off, I think everybody's curious from an HR leaders or HR managers point of view, what are some of the most popular personalized branded items that employees love just in time to prepare for the holiday season? Let's see what the employees really like.
Yes, I think that when you're picking items for your company, it's really important to start with what the purpose and meaning of your company is. What are your values? And then finding items that complement those values very well. And I think that a lot of our customers, they really lean on, some of the retail brands like Topo Designs and Timbuktu, Swell and Corsical, Yeti. I mean, these brands, they're not just really nice brands, but they also have a meaning to them. They have a very, they're following their brand ethos and what they're about. And I really love that those brands in particular are not just brands that our employees love, but they last really long. And I think that that's really important when you're doing branded items, to find things that are really sustainable, that are going to last. If you're going to put your logo in anything, you want to make sure it's not going to deteriorate. So I think those brands do a really good job of the longevity of it, and employees love it. It's going to last a long time. And there are also companies that are doing something for their local communities and the environment, which I think goes inside with a lot of what companies are looking for as well.
Okay, all right. So from what I got, some of the most important ones are those that are connected to the company's values. So if sustainability is widely accepted company value, then it'd be great if the swag is also sustainable and eco-friendly. Then the quality that you mentioned, and also if these items are somehow helpful to local communities. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you. Moving on to the next question, which would be, what would you say are the main benefits businesses can expect from incorporating personalized branded items into their internal marketing strategy?
Yes, I think that companies that don't do it have such a missed opportunity, because your employees should be your brand ambassadors. And I always think about it in terms of when you join a sports league, if they don't give you a jersey with your name on it, with the team name on it, you kind of don't feel like you're part of a team. At that point, it's just like a fun hobby. So I think swag does the same thing. When employees receive swag for their new hire, their first touch point, and just throughout their entire journey, the holidays is coming up, you send them a gift, they get promoted. It really ties in the entire experience of the employee, but also is a great reminder that we are one team and we are all part of this company. And here's what the values and here's the problems that we're trying to solve together. And swag has a great way of unifying employees. And when you have that unified employee base, it verbiates throughout. When companies have great culture, employees are very loud about it. And that's exactly what you want to do when it comes to having a strong employee brand, is having an employee brand that employees are just so loud because they're proud of the company that they work for. And swag's a great representation of it. We have a lot of employees in our company that they literally wear a swag up t-shirt probably every day, that to the point that we have to send them like more shirts every month because they're like, I wear this one too much to the gym or whatever. I want to have more. And that's really what you want. You want employees to be proud to represent the company that they work for. And a great way of doing that is through swag.
Okay, and this clearly also speaks about the quality of employee experience in a company when employees are as proud to be wearing swag, company swag, then the employee experience must be working out great. So basically using swag in the service of brand ambassadorship. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Helen. Moving on, the next question is a bit similar to the last one, but here we would focus on what would be the benefits of incorporating personalized branded items into a company's rewards and recognition program.
Yeah, I mean, I think you said it yourself in the beginning. They've seen that employee recognition programs enhance employees' productivity and motivation. And I think, in this world right now, with a lot of companies being remote or just hybrid, it's really hard to keep a pulse on if employees are happy or motivated. And I think swag's a really great way of doing that and bringing everyone together. And again, it's a great reminder of what your values are about, especially if the swag that you're making, yes, you'll have stuff that has your logo on it, but especially if it has phrases that mean something to the employees at that company. You have a mug that says, your company quote, you have some stickers that they can put on. It's a great reminder of what the company's purpose is. And I think that it just helps motivate them. And we use it ourselves in every touch point. We have, employee recognitions, and they get bonuses, and they get different swag items throughout the year. And we really do see a difference. Sending something just it can be so small, but it's that effort that they see that, wow, my company is making that effort to send me something that I feel valued and appreciated, which I think every employee wants to feel.
Great. I think you've identified the role of personalized branded items in recognition pretty well. They do play a huge role. Okay, moving on to the next one. How would you say that the process of designing, creating personalized branded items typically works from the initial idea, design concepts to reality, to delivery?
Yeah, so what we do internally with our customers is one, we try to identify um, who they're sending it to and what their company is about. Is their company more friendly? Are they, really big into nature? Are they pet friendly? Is most of them have kids? We try to really identify like what is the current culture like, and then really find items that complement that. Like we have some companies that we work with, like they're really big into beer. They have a brewery in their office that they make, and they do like beer every year. So for them, it was really important to send like beer mugs in their swag items. That might not make sense for everybody else, but I think it works really well when you send items that complement the environment that you're trying to create. So that's something that we do at Swag Up. So we'll help them with picking what those items are. Our team will design them. We'll start production on them, and we'll take everything from assembling the items into, kind of gift boxes and swag packs. And then from there, we'll ship them out. And with our platform, you can schedule the shipments out in advance or send them all at once. So it makes it very easy.
Great. So personalization here occurs on several levels. So you're personalizing the options for companies, which are personalizing options for their employees.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes even
Yeah.
deeper. All right, we will move on to the second section of our interview, and here we'll be talking about branded items in service of internal marketing. How this is very connected to what you've just been saying. How can businesses ensure that their branded items effectively communicate their brand message and values?
That I think right away when you send something to your employee base, if your Slack channels or Teams, whatever, internal system you use for communicating isn't on fire, then you might have missed the mark in some way. I think right away when employees are very excited about the items that they're getting. But in terms of the ROI, I mean, you see it. Your employee retention is one way of looking at it. Employees messaging their managers, telling them they're happy. Surveys that you do throughout the year. How is employees, mood like? Are they happy? Are they about the company? I think it reverberates in other ways, but retention is a big way of looking at that. And then also, even on social, that's something that we track as well, is how often are employees talking about our brand as well. And you see the ROI in that right away. I mean, anytime we have a large amount of our employees posting about the swag that they get and stuff, we see it benefit our marketing channels because our brand is being talked about more.
Yeah, employee net promoter score is an important metric that does show the state of company culture and how satisfying the employee experience are. Just as we're speaking about this, there is a question about measuring effectiveness in terms of ROI. So whoever is in the audience, feel free to answer that. While we move on to the next question, how would you say how does personalization impact the effectiveness of branded items in terms of increasing brand recognition and customer loyalty?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it really helps your brand get out there because it's a good little reminder of your brand. We have a lot of customers that we send swag to that they might not talk to us for a year, but they wear a t-shirt every day or the hat that we send them, and then their spouse ends up ordering swag from us, or they go to another company and they're like, oh, what was that company that I ordered swag from? I have their hat somewhere. It's a great reminder to get people, talking about your brand. I mean, you don't get to be in front of every single one of your customers all the time, but you do if you send them something to their home. If you have a mug that they love to use, or a hat, or something that they love that has some utility purpose to it, I think you end up seeing a lot of the brand awareness there. And I mean, we were just in Missouri this last week for a conference, and the amount of people wearing swag up t-shirts or swag that we made, we couldn't even believe it. We were like, it's like an artist hearing their song on the radio or something. We're like, oh my gosh, like this person has it and that person has it. And people were coming up to us, knew about our brand. And I think that's exactly what you want to have with any brand and swag is a great way of doing that. When you send enough of it out, people are going to be wearing it, talking about it. And especially if it's designed really nicely where they want to wear it, that's important too.
If I may notice, I believe you're wearing some swag right now.
Yes, I am.
It looks really good. At first, I didn't notice it was a branded item, and I thought, oh, what a nice outfit! But it's a nice outfit and also branded out. Very nice.
Yes, it's subtle. If you design it well, people will wear it, even if they no longer work at the company or no longer use that service. If it's a good item, it will constantly get worn and used.
And why not take advantage of that channel of company marketing?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, moving on. It's very nice talking, and our time is passing quickly. I hope this is the same way for our audience. Now, a little comparison question. How would you say that branded items compare to other forms of marketing in terms of cost effectiveness and ROI?
I don't know if they compare. I would say it's more of a compliment. I think that it works really well when you're doing them in tandem. So I wouldn't say, oh, this like swag channel's better than this. I would say if you add swag in that experience or in that marketing channel, it will perform better. I mean, if you're sending, and it could be with anything, people love to receive stuff. Like everyone loves getting gifts. So you can do, it can be a survey that you want to send out to your customers. You can send a survey from your CEO or your founder saying like, hey, we want to get customer feedback. Test it against something that is like, hey, we want to get your customer feedback. And in exchange, we're also going to send you something that's going to be much higher. So, and we see that with any marketing channel that we even do. I mean, we've tested sending, having channels or booking demos without swag versus booking demos with swag, and we see the ROI in it. And we see that customers that get the swag actually have a higher retention rate than our customers that didn't get anything. So I think that there's something to say about having swag just complementing more of your marketing channels versus it being another option. I think it's a good complement to enhance it.
Thanks so much for bringing this up, and it goes along the quote that I've shared on the beginning with the quote from Sherm.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Moving on to the next question. So maybe historically it wasn't so important that the branded items had quality. Maybe companies were looking at cost effectiveness more than what the employees actually got. But now it seems like we're living in a different time. What would you say? How important is the quality of branded items in terms of making a positive impression?
I think that it's super important because you want to have something that reflects your brand. And I've said this throughout this webinar. It's really important that it represents your brand. If you give someone or an employee or a client something that has your logo on it and it breaks, what does that say about your brand? And it also is wasteful. Like you don't want to send something out and then it breaks. Like what that is the worst ROI. Like if you want to talk about like the ROI of swag, that is the worst way of doing it because you literally just dumped all that money in the trash. And it doesn't have to be big. I think a lot of customers, when they think like premium items, they think that it has to be like 20 items in a box. The best swag that we've always worked with customers, they only have one key item in their swag pack, and then the rest of it is like stuff that's not as expensive, like stickers and pens, but are still meaningful and really kind of tie in the whole look of it. But you're better off sending one good item, whether if it's a hat, a mug, and then some lesser cost things to complement it. But we don't even offer stuff that breaks or anything like that on our website. We're very curated on the items that we offer because of that. There's no point.
I believe the message is that you can still do personalized branded items on a budget and still
Yeah.
deliver quality.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
But companies need to be aware of the choice and
Mhm.
select the right vendors. Okay, moving on to the next. Oh, here we have another poll question. Okay, moving on. What would you say, what types of branded items are most effective in boosting employee morale and retention? I know this depends on values, but let's see your take on that.
No, I think when it comes to giving them specifically for recognition, it's good to have a mix of items that are either stuff that they can use themselves or stuff that they can use at home or stuff they can use with their kids or pets. So having a nice blend, we do work with a lot of companies that will give the employee the option to pick. So they can either pick like something for their dog or something for their cat or a gift for their, for their kids. So I think giving employees that optionality is really good, but also having stuff that's kind of fun and different. Like for employee recognition, we don't usually give like just a shirt or anything. Like sometimes it's a cooler that they can use in the summer or something practical that might be fun, like even a beach chair. So I think when you go to the employee recognition realm of gifting, those odd home items really work really well. And games and stuff work so well. So like pickleball sets, a volleyball, but giving them the optionality to kind of pick what's important to them.
Okay, that's interesting. So it seems like in recognition, the level of personalization of branded items is even more detailed than when it, for example, sending company newcomers, some swag
Yeah.
that is usually unique or
Yes.
standardized.
When it's newcomers coming in, should reflect your brand. When it's for the employees itself, it should just reflect what do people like to do, and offering them options of things to pick from.
And that's why it's important that companies also offer a proper rewards catalog to their employees so as to have the means to actually select their own preferred branded items.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Okay. So moving on to the next question, then, how can businesses determine which branded items will most effectively reach their target audience?
Yeah, I mean, I say that wearable, anything that people can wear really goes a long way. As much as people are like, what is the most crazy item that people are doing? What's the most interesting item? There's interesting items, and then there's items that are actually going to get utilized.
Mm-hmm.
And people like something that they can just open the box. Ah, I love this hat. Oh, I like this shirt. Wearables are always going to be the most popular in my opinion, and we always see that companies that have at least one wearable item in their swag kits works really well.
Wearables. Okay, this is
Yeah.
a great tip. Thanks, Helen. Okay, moving on to the last section of our interview today. This is about the future of personalized branded items. What is the number one tip you would give companies who are exploring adding custom branded items to their offer?
Design it well. Yes. It can, even if you don't have a huge budget or you're just sending stickers or something small, if it's designed really nicely, it's going to get used. No one wants to wear something or use something that's ugly. I mean, just make sure the design is subtle. It will usually have a lot more longevity than something that's like wild and crazy.
Okay, great. So give a lot of importance to design and blend that part well.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So SwagUp has a very impressive offer of personalized branded items, and you definitely, no, you don't just seem, it's almost factual. You are very much up to date with the current trends. We can see that in how you have these sustainable products in your offer, and how deeply you value personalization as an approach generally. So how do you stay up to date with the latest trends and technologies in personalized branded items? And how do you incorporate them into your products?
We are constantly looking for new items that are coming out. But we also like to we like to stick to brands that we know are really well, like the Topos and Timbuktus and stuff. Like those brands we know are going to produce really nice items. But we also like to hunt for things that are different or maybe up and coming, because I think it's really good to kind of freshen up like what is coming up and are there different ways of doing the same thing. And right now there's a lot of brands that are coming out with really fun recyclable items or really nice like vegan leathers and stuff, but we're always looking at more of what's going on the retail side of things. And usually if it's happening in retail, then it's going to do really well in the branded space. So anything that's at Starbucks anything that you see at those like premium like coffee shops and stuff, I love going into them because they really show like some unique things that you might not have thought of. So we're always looking at like what is actually trending and kind of go from there as well. So then employees are going to like it, your clients are going to like it. Like Stanley Cup came out of nowhere. I don't think anyone thought that this huge cup was going to be really popular. Um, it's like massive, but it is, and people love drinking out of it. They love carrying it everywhere. Now there's bags to carry your Stanley Cup. So I think it's really important to just see what's trending.
Thanks for sharing. This is very interesting.
Yeah.
I've always wondered how something turns out to be a macro trend from a micro trend. There's so many unpredictable factors to take into account. You never
Yeah.
know what's going to
I mean,
become.
no one played pickleball. We never even had anyone ask for pickleball sets, and now that's one of our top gift items is a pickleball set.
A
So
pickleball set. Wow.
yeah.
That's
So
quite
you just
funny.
you have to see what's trending in the world and what people are interested in.
Okay. Would you share what innovations you're currently working on?
Innovations on at Swag Up?
At Swag Up, yes, yes, yes.
Yes. So we have a lot of interesting things coming. One is shops. We are expanding into offering like a storefront for companies, but instead of doing like your typical Shopify type of store, we're building out one that is specifically for employee recognition and for businesses that want to have a storefront retail type of experience, but there's a lot of nuances in having a storefront, an online storefront that don't work for employee base. So that is something that's up and coming for us that we are going to be offering to our customers is the ability to have a store, retail store, online type of experience, but for your employees.
Okay, okay. So this is a trend I've been noticing. We've noted at Joe Points as well, and in fact, we do have something quite similar in our offer.
Yeah.
So that's an exciting direction. And
Yes.
now to conclude our today's interview section, AI is the buzzword in not just globally in HR as well. The AI's influence on payroll, on talent acquisition. AI is all the buzz, and it's quite exciting what's happening now and how HR tech is going to be implementing AI. When it comes to Swag Up, how does AI impact your business, and what changes do you see that the implementation of AI will bring to personalized branded items?
I think from a design standpoint, it will automate a lot of stuff. I mean, right now we have, and we do use AI in some of our designs. We've been testing this out for like the past year when customers request swag that an AI is designing it and not an actual designer. So I think it's going to help expand clients with being able to get really fun designs, especially if you're in HR. You don't usually have access to your marketing designer or your brand team. Like they're like, don't talk to us. So it's very common that for someone in HR, you're kind of on your own, but you have to order all this swag for everyone, but you want to make sure it's on brand and they're approving it, but you're the one designing it with the company. So I think for us, we've been utilizing it more on the design side. But I think it's also just going to help with, coming up with curated options for customers depending on what they're looking for and making sure that it's on brand. And I think it's just going to be even more personalized and just streamline a lot of things for our customers.
Okay. Just final question. Do you think AI will bring benefits to your industry, or do you
Yeah,
have some reservations?
no, I don't think so. I think we have to embrace technology. If it's there and it's able to be helpful in ways that can speed up certain processes or give a better result for our customers, I think it's worth embracing. So I'm all for embracing technology into whatever new technology is coming in.
Great, Helen. Thank you. Now I've exhausted my list of questions, but we do have two from the audience. Would you like to indulge in those?
Yes.
Okay, so there is this anonymous attendee who's asking, is there a rising trend for sustainable and eco-friendly swag?
So I would say that it's more on the sustainability side. So we obviously we offer bamboo cups and pens and so forth. But if it's not very good quality, which unfortunately, a lot of the eco swag, like stuff that's made recycled or made from certain materials, is either not aesthetically pleasing or it's just not, the quality isn't there in some items. I'm not saying that for every item, but for some the quality is not there. So it almost ends up being not eco-friendly if someone's just going to throw it out. So what we've seen more is customers being more concerned about the sustainability of it. So is this item going to last? Like maybe it's not made from recycled materials, but it's not going to get thrown out. So I think there's a big difference between like, yeah, I made something from bamboo, but if it's going to get thrown, then that's no longer eco-friendly, and that's even more wasteful than giving something that isn't, but they're going to keep it for a long, long time. So we've seen more of a trend towards finding sustainable items that have long shelf life.
Great answer, Helen. Thank you for explaining the difference. It's not quite the same, eco-friendly and sustainable. Hope
No,
this answers your question. And another question, we have 4 minutes left, so there's still time. This anonymous attendee would like to know, is there an option for employees to order their swag from the company website or the company page on SwagUp? So this
so
depends.
so we actually offer something called redeem pages that allows your employees to pick an item. So they can pick up to 4 different items right now. And that is free to use if you use SwagUp. So once you pick what items you want, you warehouse them with us, you can send this. It's a full branded landing page that you can send out to employees. And we have a lot of customers that use it for employee recognition.
I can answer from JobPoint's point of view. There is similarly to this redeeming landing page as you described. Similarly to this, there's a rewards catalog, and based on whether company uses a monetary or a non-monetary program, employees can exchange their points for swag and send it to their coworkers, their siblings, family members, or each other if they will. Okay, one more question. There is this question, it just came in. Okay, there's space for one more, okay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Do you offer print-on-demand items, e.g. items with a one-piece order minimum? And how important do you see print-on-demand items becoming in the future?
Yeah, so we currently don't offer it, but we do offer items that are a minimum of one. The one thing, the trade-off that you'll see with print-on-demand items is the quality. With a lot of the print-on-demand items, they're not going to be the best quality in a lot of times, versus something that you order long term you're ordering in a much larger quantity. You can pick much better brands than you can on some of the print on demand items. But I think for companies that want to do swag and don't really have a budget, and they just want to try it out and they don't want to warehouse anything, then the print on demand stuff's great for that, for you to get your feet wet. But you end up paying a premium for that. So you end up paying, it can be $30 for a t-shirt versus only paying 15. So there is a premium to doing the print on demand.
Okay, great. Thank you, Helen. We will close this Q&A session right now as we're approaching to the end of this webinar. I'm so thrilled that we've had you here today. It was lovely to talk to you. And let me just briefly echo back to something you've said at the beginning, and it was just wonderful. You said it all starts with connection. This is how swag is an add-on or a catalyst to achieving that connection in a workplace. It does not make it by itself, but it's it serves that function.
Yeah.
And this is how we envision swag to be used in the service of creating a better employee experience. Thank you very much for coming here today and being a part of this webinar, sharing your insights. You truly did share a lot of good information, and I'm sure that our audience found lots of this very insightful. Would you like to end some final thoughts?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hopefully it was super informative for everyone here and really excited that we were able to do this. So thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, thank you, everyone. We will send a recording to everyone who wasn't able to attend or had to leave early. So we've got you covered, and see you on our socials. Um, and stay tuned for new webinars and new events. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.